Hey, so we built this car, a Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, back in 2016, 2017 is when it hit the show circuit. We've been lucky enough to get it back in the workshop just for a little bit of work. Perfect opportunity for us to show it to you guys. Now, we've got full custom with this, or custom retro, as we probably call it. A lot of subtle modifications that most people would miss. And to be fair, a lot of people don't even know what this car is. The owner actually contracted us to start this because he just didn't have the time to do it. Even though he stripped it right the way back, had it media blasted, edge primed the shell, the floor pan was in pretty good condition, but still needed a ton of metal work. It had a load of custom metal work done to it as well as a load of standard remedial work, which these old cars always need. But a lot of the modifications have been done super subtly. And to be fair, I look at it and I forget half of the work that's actually gone into it. So yeah, let's have a walk around. Right, so as far as modifications go, there's been a lot on this, but being a 1972, it does look slightly uglier, if you like, than the early models, which is why we've changed the front end. This had a load of welding done to it to put the early indicators there. We've got the blade bumpers again. They just look nicer than the big square bumpers that you would have had on the 73. Now, the front panel on this was completely dented. It was smashed up. We've done a load of welding on that. All the gaps on this, we've tightened up as well, welded all the way around them wherever they're needed. Some areas we've taken metal away as well, welded the edge back up, got those absolutely perfect. Looking for like a 4 or 5 mil gap all the way around. One of the biggest mods on this that still a lot of people miss is the roof chop. Unless you stick this next to a standard one, you probably wouldn't notice straight away, because we've kept the proportions all the same and just lowered it 2 inches basically in the center, chop it into 4 parts. There's a lot of ways, different ways of doing roof chops. The way we like to do it is to keep the proportions exactly as they were. So dropping the windscreen down, dropping everything down, but quartering the roof. When you drop it, it becomes wider and it becomes longer. Then we got a donor roof, welded the donor roof section all the way around and skin that in. A lot of people miss that, but it's what makes this unique, along with a load of other stuff. Also, another thing that we got rid of the front badge, just to smooth that front end up. When doing a roof chop, obviously you've got to have custom glass made as well. All that was done, cut down, and the roof made to fit around the glass, but also didn't move that B post forward. Another little mod that a lot of people miss, slanted that forward, modified all the trims, and again, just get all those rubbers looking like the factory. A lot of time goes into these. I mean, a standard Karmann Ghias, anybody who's fitted Karmann Ghias doors before knows how much of a pain they are to cut all these rubbers and get everything looking perfect and watertight. But obviously on a roof chop, it's that little bit harder, if you like. So a whole bunch of time was spent going into that. Also the doors, all these gaps, again, welded up all the way around to get that perfect 4 mil gap all the way around. Right, so with the back end, pretty much standard, to be fair, in that we've made it pre-65 panels. So all the back light units were cut out and donor sections from a donor car welded in to give it the pre-65 look. Smaller lights, they just look a lot prettier. They really do. Again, blade bumpers with the overriders. Now these bumpers, they're stainless steel. Now they took a lot of fitting to get them perfect. We didn't want to start moving everything in. Some of the cars we build, we'll bring the bumpers in, trim them, cut them, re-chrome them a lot to get them hugging the body. We didn't want to go to that level with this. We wanted it to look standard. Again, somebody that doesn't know any different, we don't want to fully customize this. Now, while we're on the back end, normally these have a little lever inside to open the engine lid. We didn't want to do that because we wanted it hidden. You're probably wondering why. Well, basically, this tube here normally comes around, goes all the way around the engine bay, and it just looks ugly. It just really just messes up the engine bay. So we decided to get this, the catch chromed. Just getting that smoothed in there, hidden bonnet pull, and got rid of the battery tray. Normally the battery lives on that side. Got rid of that as well. Smoothed all the engine bay out. Obviously had to trim in leather as well. So custom panels were made for the side. Trimming design, obviously the colour as well matches what we've got on the inside. Matching all the way through, so the line goes all the way through, follows all the way around. just to give it that really smooth custom retro feel. Engine tinware, all painted up in a similar colour to the body, but with a matte lacquer on it. So this is a 2.2 litre engine, 175 brake horsepower, which to modern cars might not sound a lot, but in a small white car like this, it goes like stink. It's not a race motor, it's a mild performance street engine, loads of torque, bags of torque on it. Gearbox on this is a Pro Street freeway flyer, so it's got a longer fourth gear on it, bigger ring and pinion, so you can cruise at 75, 80 all day long in this thing if you want to. It's got MSD ignition on it, all nice bits, 44mm carbs, and it just drives absolutely perfectly. It really does. It's such a nice street engine, which just really just matches this car perfectly. Coming down to the front bonnet, which is in the front in these cars, engine in the back, of course. Going on the same theme with a hidden bonnet latch, if we can get to it, with it nice and low. So doing that again, just to neaten everything up. Normally it would have a metal pipe running all the way through to the front. We didn't want that. We wanted to smooth everything out as much as possible, so got rid of that. Chromed hardware everywhere, chromed springs. Now behind there is all the wiring. Now that is neat. It's super neat wiring, but we still didn't want to look at it. So we've got the wiring cover in there, all trimmed in leather. Now on this, we opted for the pre-65 fuel tank with the internal filler as well. That meant on this car, being a 73, it used to have a big square fuel filler flap on the side. Got rid of that, welded that up, lead loaded it, put the pre-65 fuel tank in there, air tank just in front of that with the air compressor sitting underneath it. Obviously both painted in the same matte colour as the engine bay. Now there was a bunch of holes in that bulkhead. Again, all needed repairing. People have just welded, drilled holes, mounted things underneath the dashboard in the past, so tons and tons of welding. I think that from memory there's about 30 odd holes that we had to weld up and smooth in on that bulkhead. So just that little bit alone there. Tons of work, but yeah, just smoothing everything out. Again, like it just left the factory basically. For wheels and tyres. Now, the owner actually bought these before we started it. He always knew he wanted a retro custom look on this, and that included the air suspension and the wheels, and these brakes as well from Air Cooled in America. Now, the brakes are a Willwood brake kit on the front, 4-pot calipers. They've all been painted to match the body colour. Rear brakes as well. They're a disc kit. So the brakes are actually awesome on this thing. Upgraded master cylinder for the 4-wheel disc brakes. Braided lines all around. And like I said, 17-inch smoothie. Baby moon hubcaps. And we opted for the chrome surrounds as well. Painted cream just to match the retro custom theme as well. So they just match the theme of this absolutely perfect. Being 17-inch gives you that custom touch, but also classic as well, being the standard design. So this car, for sure, is definitely one of my favourite builds to date. Back in 2017, when we built this, it was also one of our biggest builds to date from the ground up, apart from my own cars that I'd built over the years. Putting that much time, effort into any car, you become attached. And with the amount of awards that this has won at the car shows, again, it definitely helped put us on the map as a custom car builder in the UK, which is what we've always dreamed of and what we strive for. We strive for perfection, especially when we've been asked to build a car of this caliber. Now, just after we'd finished it back in 2017, we took this along with 2 other cars to fit it up in Manchester. Big car show, 1,000 show cars in there, and this scooped best in show. We were absolutely blown away. It was awesome. Won a big trophy, load of other stuff as well, and a load of recognition for all the hard work, which is super, super cool. Plus, going to the car shows as well, you get to meet a ton of cool people, make new friends, which is what it's all about for us. Also won in 2017, Europe's Most Beautiful VW at Volkswagen Action. Again, another massive award. So yeah, 2 big awards. We've won a bunch of other ones with it as well. So yeah, definitely my little baby. I love this car. Now, so far, this is the only car in the world painted in this colour, which again is something that I like to do for the custom builds. It really makes it a true one of one.